The unsung heroes of Doctor Who are the actors who, through the 30 years, suffered inside these wonderful monster costumes in hot studios. Their patience was extraordinary. I mean, if I were them, I'd have run off. Full of admiration for them.
Kill the Doctor.
They killed him. My lure has worked.
The Devil with His Harpy was so heavy. When you were in the costume, you could not stand upright. You were looking out of a tiny observation hatch about there, about the size of a small letterbox. And the Zarbies were quite useless because once we got mobile, we were crashing into cameras and into scenery.
It was very claustrophobic, you know. I mean, the mouthpiece was so small and the eyes were tiny, really tiny, that all you could see was ahead of you all the time.
Advance!
I think even people in the studio were amazed that there was a fellow inside those Daleks. Even now, people tend to think, were they radio-controlled?
Well, I wasn't really sure what the Daleks were, really. I think I'd sort of thought it was some kind of confluence of midgets and tricycles. But the people who played the Daleks were all these kind of quite tall, willowy men. And they all dressed in black roll necks and black trousers.
Now, with the top off, you see what the Dalek is inside. I control the eye stick with a periscope down here, sometimes even pushed by your nose. The plunger here we use for opening doors or controlling riots. My other hand can control the gun, which goes negative, positive, exterminated them, but no blood and gore, just clean death.
BBC explosion. The Daleks kept very much to themselves. I suppose it's like Robert De Niro or something in Cape Fear, that they felt that they really couldn't mix with the rest of the cast. I don't know, I thought we might become friends. You know, it was a bit sad, really.
We had to come out of the water looking really menacing. Now, we didn't have any rehearsal on it because there was never any time. Our instructions were to duck underneath the water, count to 8, and all come up at the same time. Well, we popped up out of the water, and we were now trying to climb up this shingle beach, coping with all this water that was draining out of our helmets, coughing and spluttering, falling over our shoes, which were very, very badly fitted.
I could see again.
Morbius was a Frankenstein monster, and he had this huge brain in this, goldfish bowl, and my head, in fact, was inside its neck. And at the end of it, I had to get chased by all these nuns, and they pushed me over this cliff. And the fall I had to do was about 15 feet, but it was particularly difficult because of the weight of this goldfish bowl. I did strain my neck doing that one.
And the Cyberman was quite a nice suit, basically, because it was a wetsuit. But perspiration just used to pour all the way through into your eyes, straight into the wetsuit, all the way through, so you could imagine what it was like at the end of the day.
These were just Welsh extras, and they weren't paid to do stunts. And all these Cybermen had to get wiped out. So it was down to me to double all their deaths.
I've done, in actual fact, 110 episodes of Doctor Who, mostly as Daleks. 110! The mind boggles, man and boy.
We are the masters of Earth. We
And now, episode 4 of Planet of the Daleks.
Back in the TV history of 1963, a man landed on British screens in a police box. But who was he?
We're wanderers in the fourth dimensions of space and time, cut off from our own planet and our own people, by eons in universes that are far beyond the reach of your most advanced sciences. You can't just change what I look like without consulting me.
You will have an opportunity to choose your appearance.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. But I warn you, I'm very particular.
I think it's starting.
Well, here we go again.
I'm the doctor.
No, Doctor, I'm the doctor, and I say that you're not fit.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor.
When I played the Fifth Doctor, I think I just moved a little quicker than the previous Doctors.
I suppose I brought a kind of a quirkiness, an eccentricity. Right, that all seems quite clear. Just 3 small points. Where am I? Who am I? And who are you?
The Doctor has had many nasty enemies, but the ones that made most people hide behind their sofas were the evil Daleks.
Exterminate all humans! Exterminate all humans!
It is extraordinary that the Dalek, which is well known as the upturned pepper pot with a sink plunger, that until a very recent episode couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and therefore all you had to do is go upstairs and shut the door and you were safe. They've got round that now because they're floating Daleks, I gather.
You will be exterminated! Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
They could move like grease lightning, you know, not to ruin anyone's idea of the Daleks, but there are people in there sitting down, sort of walking around in them, but they actually, you know, frighten the living daylights out of you. I was chased down a corridor by 5 or 6 of them, and I haven't recovered yet.
Director Steven Spielberg is rumoured to be making a movie of Doctor Who, but who do the old Doctors think the new Doctor should be?
We will continue.
The actor David Warner.
I think Joanna Lumley would be excellent.
I mean, I wouldn't go for a handsome one. I don't think it's that kind of role, but they should be, you know, kind of individualistic, brainy, and eccentric. Don't give the role to Tom Cruise.